What's happening, folks? I'm Andy, your Electric Geek, and I love collecting movies on 4K Blu-ray and Blu-ray. Big physical media fan, whole YouTube channel all around it. However, it is a hobby that can quickly become a pretty negative, aspiringly negative thing if you make these 5 mistakes. 5 mistakes that I've identified that I make myself all the time, and it's an ongoing battle to get on top of them. And I reckon if you're really honest with yourself, you'll be making 1 or 2 of these mistakes, if not all of them. So stick with us and we'll be starting with the one that hurts your wallet the most. So mistake number 1, and I think it's important to start here because it's going to set the tone for the rest of the video, and that is not having a budget of what you're going to spend monthly. So no budget equals chaos. And I can hold my hand up and say I've been in that situation. I've had multiple PayPal paying fees on the go. I've put stuff on a credit card before. I have a YouTube channel, obviously, and that kind of encourages me or puts me in a position where I feel I have to buy stuff earlier than everyone else to get the latest stuff so that my channel is kind of relevant and I can cover it for you guys. However, that quickly got out of hand because I hadn't set any kind of budget. And before you knew it, I was spending 100, 200, sometimes more, don't tell the wife. And eventually I had to kind of arrest myself and have a look at it and go, what the hell are you doing here, Andy? So money's a funny thing. I'm not telling anyone how to spend their money. I'm not going to suggest a budget for you because obviously everybody's different. Everybody's disposable income is completely different. However, I do think it's important just to set a budget that is relative to you. So to give you an example, for me, I like to buy maybe 1 kind of flash thing a month. I'm not saying that I always stick to that, but that is my baseline and I'm quite good with it, certainly these days going forward. So maybe 1 nice Steelbook, 1 collector's edition, around about the £30–35 mark, and then maybe if I'm doing that month, then if I'm buying anything else, it's going to be second hand or it's going to be a standard type thing. I'm not going to go mental and buy another collector's edition. So for me, my budget's probably anywhere from £50 to £100, and that can obviously fluctuate depending on what's coming out, or maybe if I had some overtime that month or something like that, I've got a wee bit extra cash to play with. But it's so important to set a budget, and what it does when you set a budget is that it makes you prioritise what's important. So if you've got a budget and you know you need to stick to 50 quid, 100 quid, whatever it may be, 20 quid, it doesn't really matter. If you've got that budget, it forces you to think, right, do I really need that or do I really want this? So having a budget is so important. And as I say, it's important to talk about at the beginning of the video because that's going to be the kind of theme going forward. It's about being smarter when it comes to buying physical media. Mistake number 2, buying stuff and not watching it, man. So talking about being smart when it comes to physical media, here's a glaringly obvious example of being stupid when it comes to physical media. So exhibit A in being stupid with physical media. So this is buying stuff. This is a big pile of stuff that I have bought that I have yet to watch, and some of it I've owned for years. And by the way, it's not the full pile of stuff, it's just what would comfortably fit within the shot. So if I turn it around, you can see a lot of it still in the shrink wrap of shame. And there's Steelbooks, there's all sorts, there's standard Blu-ray, there's 4K Blu-ray, stuff still with the tags on it, never get around to watching it. That begs the question, did I actually ever need it? Does it come back to the whole budget thing? Is it because I didn't budget, so I was just buying willy-nilly? If I had a budget, I might have prioritised better and not bought that stuff in the first place. But fret not, if you've got a big pile of unwatched stuff, it's not a bad thing, and it's a good place to start with regards to changing your mindset. So see that big unwatched pile of Blu-rays that you've got? Start going through them. It's an opportunity to remember why you collect in the first place. So start going through them, maybe have a system like, right, before I buy anything else, I need to watch 2. Maybe you could do watch 2, buy 1, right? So I need to watch 2 of my unwatched, unopened Blu-rays before I can even think about treating myself to a new one. And you might find that when you start actually watching the stuff you've got, you're retraining yourself into why you like buying physical media in the first place. It's not just about the chase and the dopamine hit. And don't get me wrong, I know what it's like. It feels great when that thing comes through the door if you've pre-ordered or you went to HMV and you buy something. See, for that moment, it feels great, but it does last for a moment and then it gets battered into the shelves and then we forget about it. So get it off the shelf, get the shrink wrap off, get it into your player and actually enjoy it. And remember that it's the movies that you love. It's not the plastic box and the disc that sits on your shelf. Now on to mistake number 3, which is always going for the 4K option over the Blu-ray. That might seem a bit counterintuitive to my channel if you've been following it a while, because I like to do 4K Blu-ray reviews and I wax lyrical about them. I love 4K, I love watching movies in the highest quality, and I'm not trying to tell you that Blu-ray is better than 4K. It's not 9 times out of 10, but the difference is marginal a lot of the time. So when is it worth your while? It's worth your while for things like this. Jaws, classics like Jaws that you're going to watch over and over again, that are beautifully restored, painstakingly restored from the original negative. The 35mm, it comes up, the 4K with the inclusion of HDR, looks absolutely spectacular. You're going to watch it again and again. So spend the extra 10, 15 quid if you want the Steelbook, whatever it is, get that. Or something new, like Top Gun Maverick, absolutely. Reference shot digitally, but it's resolutions are 6 to 8K or something like that with Sony Venice cameras. Amazing blockbuster action, amazing Dolby Atmos. Just an absolute reference disc, and it's the one that I show off to all my friends. So it's been on. I've had to change the plastic wrapper on it because I've got to open that often. That's how often it goes in my player. Good value for money. If you're watching it again and again, get the 4K. But there are times it just isn't worth it, and you're as well just getting the Blu-ray, because then you can put the savings towards something else, be it that big collector set you want, or upgrade your home cinema, whatever it is, you can put it towards that. So to give you some recent examples where I've actually practiced what I preach, is things like buying Ghostbusters Afterlife on Blu-ray. I bought Beetlejuice on Blu-ray, and that's because they're going to look amazing because they're modern films, and Blu-ray is still a very, very good format, and I'm not going to watch them all that often, so I might as well just save myself £10. Also, the Blu-ray value depreciates really quickly, so you'll find that the 4K will sit around £24.99, 20 quid in our country anyway, in UK, and then quickly though, the Blu-ray will tumble to £9.99, £7.99 from £14.99, so it ends up being much more of a price difference. If you're picking something up for £7.99 and the Blu-ray is still £24.99, that's a significant saving. It's more than half price, so definitely worth considering if you can hold off as well for a few months. But then another good example of a more premium thing is Demolition Man in 4K. So bought this box set. This is just the Blu-ray standard edition. Got it for £18. The 4K was 30 quid when it came out, and it's now out of print, so it goes for like 40 to 50 quid online. There is absolutely no difference other than the disc itself. When it comes to Arrow, the box set is the exact same. Even the sound is the same, so you still get the Dolby Atmos on the bog standard Blu-ray, and you get all the trinkets and all the special features. Yes, would it be nice to see Demolition Man in 4K and HDR? Of course it would. Is it the better presentation? I've not seen it, but I imagine it will be. However, the presentation of this is beautiful. It's Arrow, it's been painfully restored. It's the 4K new restoration, just downscaled onto Blu-ray. And if you're playing that on a high-end TV or projector, it's still going to look absolutely amazing. And see, for the 1 or 2 times I'm going to watch this every year, not even that, probably like biannually I'm going to stick this on. Can I make do with a really good Blu-ray? Of course I can, if it's going to save me, 20 quid or something like that. So I think it's worthwhile buying the Blu-ray over the 4K whenever you can. Which leads us in nicely to mistake number 4, which is overspending on Steelbooks and collector's editions. I love a Steelbook, I love a collector's edition. I've unboxed loads of them on the channel, but I have made this mistake myself, and it's something I need to get on top of. But a good recent example of this was buying Deadpool Wolverine on 4K Steelbook. So loved the movie in the cinema, big MCU fan, naturally got the Steelbook. That's fine, but it's got a variant cover, hasn't it? So after a while, the FOMO kicked in, and I went online and ordered myself the variant cover, which you'll notice is still in the shrink wrap. Why is it still in the shrink wrap? Because it's the exact same as this, right? So I don't need to open that because it's the exact same disc that's inside. Does it look cool having the 2 of them? Yes, but this cost me 70 quid. Ridiculous. I took this over a paying free. I didn't have the money to buy it at the time. So I put myself out just so I could have this, and it just sits in a cupboard and it'll never get opened because I've got a perfectly good one here. All the same stuff, all the same features. I'm literally paying 35 quid to get a different metal case. So pointless. And just another point on that is they're not always great. See what you get inside them. Like you get a booklet, you get art cards and stuff like that. 99% of us never use them. So I would encourage you, if you do have them, take them out, look at them, enjoy them as much as you can, because otherwise it's just money wasted sitting on your shelf. Another point to note, which ties back to why you should always watch what you buy, is that I'm a big Blade Runner fan, and I got this Titans Occult edition of Blade Runner unboxed at the channel. You can check out if you want. Lovely Steelbook. However, when I went to put it on recently, which was about 18 months after I actually bought the thing, so as much as I'd unboxed it and showcased it to you guys, I never actually put it in my player because I have multiple versions of it. Put it in my player, and it turns out the 4K disc doesn't even work. It's got a fault, it gets to the same point, and then it freezes every time, and there's issues in the scenes thereafter. So it's faulty, and because I didn't watch it until 18 months later, it's well past the point of return. So that's just sitting there now. That literally is packaging because the 4K disc doesn't even work. So I'm not saying don't enjoy collector's editions and steelbooks, but just be mindful about it. Remember that 9 times out of 10 you are paying for the packaging. Avoid double dipping, which is a whole mistake in itself. I might cover in another video, but avoid double dipping if possible, and really scrutinise again. Go back to your budget and think, do I actually need this? Am I going to actually use the things that come with the collector's set? Do I have space for it? Because they're bigger as well. And just really kind of stress test whether or not it's actually within your budget and if it's actually worth part with the cash for. Right, I wasn't going to open this, but lovely Steelbook, and look what you get inside it. This is what you're getting in a collector's edition. Blade Runner themed beer mats. I mean, crap, man. You don't need that stuff, folks. And last but certainly not least, on to mistake number 5, which is going to hurt and you might need a cuddle after it, and that is never culling your collection or selling on. There is absolutely no point in keeping stuff on your shelf, you know, with that hollow promise to yourself that, well, I might watch it one day, you know. See if it gets to the point where you've had it for like 4 years and you've never watched it. You ain't going to watch that. Simple as that. It's just taking up real estate on your shelf, and you're as well punting it. You could make money out of it. Now, admittedly, there's not much money to be made in physical media these days, but even 4Ks and stuff, maybe collector's editions hold their value, but bulk standard stuff, the type of stuff you need to punt, you're not going to make much money on. But see if you're just looking to do it quickly, you can go down to CX, you can go to a charity shop, you can put it on eBay, Vinted and stuff like that. I've been quite successful with Vinted of late. The money doesn't really matter at that point. If the thing's worth £2, just get it out your house. You don't need to, it doesn't really matter what you make. Don't get upset because CX are only offering you 10 pence for it. Just be grateful that CX are going to take it off you. And remember, some other guy's going to come in there who's into physical media, maybe just starting a collection, maybe doesn't have the same budget. They're going to buy it for £1, £2, and they're actually going to watch it maybe. So you've helped another collector, you've helped another film enthusiast by giving them the opportunity. Yeah, CX make money out of it. Their business, who cares? Go over it. But you know, you're keeping the kind of ecosystem of physical media going and keeping it alive, and someone else is getting the benefit of it. What's the point in it sitting in your cupboard? Once you get rid of it, you'll feel so much better for it, and you'll have space to fill it with stuff you actually will watch, favourites, and you might have a wee bit of cash to put towards it. So it's so important to, every now and then, maybe like quarterly, even yearly, if you're not doing it at all at the moment, just go over your collection, review it, look at it and go, do you know what, that really is just borrowing a space on the shelf. I'm never going to watch it, or I didn't even like that movie, or whatever. Like the Deadpool Wolverine Steelbook I've got, it's still in the shrink wrap. Part of the reason it's still in the shrink wrap is because I am thinking about selling it. It'll be worth more that way. So, you know, maybe make that hard decision and go, do you know what, I'm going to punt this and I'm going to get something else that really excites me. Use the excitement of getting something else as the motivation to get rid of the stuff that you're not watching. And remember, your collection should say something about you. So it's not about hoarding all these films you're not going to watch again. It's about having a collection, and it can be large, it can be small, it can be whatever it is. It doesn't matter how many films you've got. It doesn't make you more of a film fan, or it doesn't mean because you've got multiple copies of a film on collector's editions that you like that film more than someone else. I'm afraid to tell you, it doesn't work like that. So have a look at it, try and curate it, and get it to a point where, you know, every film in the collection ideally you love and you do genuinely watch, and that way it's a really accurate statement of your movie taste, and it brings you joy as opposed to, you know, stressing you out because you've got no space and your shelves are overflowing with stuff you don't even watch, or maybe if you're really honest, you don't even like. Remember, you're creating a collection, you're not trying to recreate HMV in your house. If you want to go into HMV and look at absolutely every genre, including films you like and don't like, then just go to HMV and look at it. You don't need to create that in your house. So that's the 5 big mistakes I think all physical media collectors make. I certainly make them, and I've evidenced that to you throughout the video. Remember, collecting should be fun. It's a hobby, that's why we do it. It's our passion, it should be fun. If you're hammering all 5 of these mistakes and not doing anything about it, chances are you're going to suck the fun out of it. You're going to end up in debt, you're going to end up stressed out and riddled with anxiety because you've got no space for your ever-growing and encroaching physical media collection. That's not what we get into it for. It's about the love of film, it's about having that tactile, tangible thing that you can take off the shelf and look at that brings you joy. If you've got stuff in your collection that doesn't bring you joy, get it punted. So I hope you've enjoyed that video and you found it informative. If you have, hit that like button and perhaps subscribe to the channel for more physical media content. I do 4K reviews, unboxings, and I do discussions around physical media. Certainly I'll be doing more of that going forward anyway. So as I say, hit that subscribe button and make sure the notification bell is on so you'll know when my content drops. But please let me know in the comments, are you making any of these mistakes? Do you have any other mistakes you want to add to the list? Or have you got any words of wisdom, tips for collectors that are struggling with these mistakes? I can do them, to be honest. I'm all ears for any tips to make my collecting more fun. So yeah, stick a comment down there and I'll enjoy speaking with you in the comment section. I've been Andy the Electric Geek. Keep physical media alive, but just do it sensibly, and I'll see you in the next video.